Welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And here's your host, Conrad Cushman.
Welcome. This is Marty the Moth Casals from Lucha Underground and more. And you're watching Conrad Cushman and Everything Pro Wrestling. It's going to be fun.
Folks, welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and we are here today with a very special episode to talk about Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory 2019 preview. I hope you guys are all excited for the show just like I am. We have some tremendous things to talk about with this, but first, if you guys haven't subscribed to the podcast, please make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss out every week when I drop these little cool episodes for you, and hopefully you guys like it. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who was with me at Brainbuster Radio, everybody in the Everything Pro Wrestling Facebook group. I've just been thinking about everybody a lot lately, and I appreciate everybody and everything they've done for the brand and helping me out and just being a part of Everything Pro Wrestling. So thank you guys so much for that. Anybody who's come on as a guest, I just always want you guys to know that I'm grateful and thankful for you. And today I really thought about what should the show be about? And I decided on this probably 2 weeks ago that Impact Wrestling really deserves some respect for what they've been doing for the cards for years. As far as Impact goes, it's a tough thing to kind of even speak about because we've had our ups and downs with Impact. I guess I should tell my story about how I got into Impact Wrestling and everything else, right? So I had heard of Impact Wrestling around 2002, similar to Ring of Honor. The dirt sheets were around, but I really weren't into them too much back then because I didn't have a computer that worked all the time. So during that time period, I'd go to school. You'd hear rumblings about, there's this new company, TNA. You got to pay $1 for their pay-per-view every week and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, that sounds different. And, there was no YouTube quite yet back then. That was coming in a couple years. But slowly around that time frame of 2004, 2005, you started getting YouTube. And you could see clips of TNA wrestling. People were putting up Ring of Honor matches. And, it was all stuff that shouldn't have been put up on YouTube. But at the time, it was kind of like the craziest thing on the internet. So you were searching whatever you could to find stuff on YouTube. And, you would find a lot of the first original U-shooters, whether it's Crazy Mike, ROH Styles, True Slayer, Nightmare Balla. The names could go on and on and on and on. And we don't see a lot of these guys anymore make the videos, but they were the OGs showing people how to do it. Hence today, while we have the Sala Monsters, the JD from New York's, the Everything Pro Wrestling, Smart to Death, that's how we built our name. And it's because of brands like TNA. A lot of people used to do TNA review shows. Monoxide, he's someone who really was into TNA at one point, I felt. Slag Daddy, Off the Rope Show, his whole crew, they were into these shows. And I would say right around the time when I was fully kind of starting to get invested into it was when Christian came over. When Christian came over, it was a very big deal for me. And I was like, man, it's so dope to have Christian a part of this company. He was someone who I really thought WWE could have did a little bit more with. And right around the time he quit, I thought he was ready for the main event at that time. I felt like he could have been mixing it up with John Cena and Batista and all them in 2005. But that goes back to Vince saying the blue dot over his face and all that BS. And that led to Sting coming in, Kurt Angle. And the sad part about that was watching all of this, Christian ended up going right back to the spot like that upper mid-card, the level right before the big main event scene consistently. Christian went right into the same spot where he was in WWE when he left. So it kind of sucked for him. Kurt Angle really established himself. Same thing with Sting. You had Kevin Nash, Samoa Joe, and AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels were the standouts that you wanted to see. I always felt like they could have did Christopher Daniels a little bit better. Kaz, I remember Kaz was part of Raven's original group, and he really stood out in some ladder matches and stuff, and Kaz was absolutely amazing. And I could go on and on about the entire roster, but I'm not going to do that. But TNA really started to hit some strides for a little bit, and one of the more particular angles that I was interested in was the whole Austin Aries option C thing. And I'm fast forwarding through a lot of stuff, I know. They had great pay-per-views like Lockdown. I miss James Storm, Chris Harris, James Storm, Bobby Roode, Beer Money, Motor City Machine Guns, all my teams. But when you look at the talent that they had in big moments, I really, really want to reflect back on Austin Aries and the option C. I love that time period in TNA. Bobby Roode, the longest reigning TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Austin Aries cashes in on him. Something's got to give because Austin Aries was the dominant X Division champion. Bobby Roode, dominant World Heavyweight Champion. Who is going to lose? And Aries winning the belt, a great moment. One of my favorite things. I was trying to recreate that in all the WWE video games at the time. Hogan was coming in with Bischoff. That had people hopeful. And it led to disastrous things. And I just remember getting mad at TNA eventually, a little after like Aces and Eights. And they did some foolish things on television that I just didn't agree with. And it just went downhill after that. What happened? What made TNA not so great? And I kind of fell out of it. I missed Drew Galloway, I guess he was in TNA. Bobby Lashley, I came back towards the end of his run with like him and Del Rio being there, but I missed a lot of guys being in Impact Wrestling. I think I didn't even see Cody Rhodes when he was over there for a little bit because I wasn't watching. I don't know why I just decided not to watch it. I just think I was completely done with the product at that time. And once I started up Everything Pro Wrestling again, I started thinking to myself, I got to give this another shot. Because I told myself I was never watching it again. But TNA has been like that itch you can't scratch. They've just always been there. They've been around longer than WCW was. Think about that for a second. Kurt Angle spent more of his career in Impact Wrestling than WWE. They've been around for a while. And there's some amazing stories to be told by all of this. And where is TNA at today? In my opinion, TNA is kind of like, I wouldn't say the home for washed up old stars, but a lot of people may see it that way with some of the people I'm going to bring up on this card. But TNA needs stars to bring in, to draw people in. And these guys work. They sell tickets. I'm not mad at it. Anthem Sports is now running TNA. It's no longer Dixie Carter for those who are Laps fans. Anthem Sports are in charge. They got Don Callis in charge. Who knows what'll happen? They're trying to become like this. I don't know how to put it. Impact is not like a big brand. They're currently on Twitch. They just signed a deal with Access TV. Technically, Anthem bought Access TV, so they had a place to air Impact. That'll be on Tuesdays. They're trying to do a lot of different things to make their brand better, and I'm not mad at it. They're doing co-promotion shows with Lucha Underground, Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore. There's a lot of things that they're trying to do, and I'm not mad at it. Impact is trying to rebrand itself and do it right. And I think they've been putting on heck of a shows. Like, if you have not seen what they've been doing, you are truly missing out. And we're going to kind of get into some of that and talk about that here in 1 second. But I want to pause this for a second. I'm going to let my friends at Everything College Basketball do their ad, and then we're going to get into this Bound for Glory card. And I want to set the stage for you guys so that if you haven't watched Impact Wrestling in quite some time, I'm going to tell you why I think you should get back into it. So we're going to talk about that and run down all of the card, give some preview and predictions for it. And we'll be right back with all that after we listen to our friends from Everything College Basketball.
Everything Pro Wrestling, it's your boys from the Everything College Basketball podcast and Facebook group. I'm Josh Burton, letting you all know that if you like the college game, that there's only one spot to come find all you need to know.
Yep, Josh, Peyton, and myself, Tyler. We are the three voices of ECB podcast and Facebook group, Peyton, tell them where they can find us and listen to us at.
Well, Tyler, you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and all other podcast hosting sites. Also, go join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/everything college basketball. So if you want everything you need to know about the collegiate game or have a passion for it, there's only one spot that you need to check out on a weekly basis or a daily basis with the Facebook group. That's Everything College Basketball. Now let's get back to Conrad informing you on everything pro wrestling and the workings around it.
Brother.
Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory. We are back once again to talk about this. The show is going to be taking place in Chicago, Illinois. It is available on FITE TV, and it's going to be also available on traditional pay-per-view. Now, if you guys didn't know, on my Twitter, I am currently running a contest. If you guys want to get involved in that, the link to the tweet will be in the description of the video, along with my link for getting to all of the other ways to listen to the podcast, whether it be on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. They're all in there. And it links you to everything that's mine. Merch, social media, whatever you guys want to get into. But if you go to my Twitter and you find the Bound for Glory contest, you guys can enter in, and I have a couple codes to give away for Bound for Glory. So you could watch it for free just by following Everything Pro Wrestling. Don't miss out, guys. If you're even semi-interested in this, you could win. So make sure you guys check it out. This show is going to be taking place October 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be in the, Odeum Expo Center in Chicago, Illinois. So we've got a nice card lined up for this. Very nice card. The question is, how's it going to play out? Impact Wrestling won me back over, I want to say it was Slammiversary 2017, if I'm not mistaken, with Bobby Lashley and Alberto Del Rio. Actually, I'm going to pull it up right now. I want to see what that card was with these two on it, because I remember it just being fun. And this is how I got back into Impact. I started watching everything that was happening with them, and I kind of just got suckered back into what they were doing at the time, and I wasn't mad. So here we go. I just clicked Wrestling Observer newsletter. Hopefully this doesn't have any bias crap in it. And this is when they had like the Impact GFW thing going on. You still had LAX. You got to see Laredo Kid, Garza Jr. They had a lot of different people on here. Ethan Carter and James Storm were in here still. EC3 made a big mistake. I feel like leaving. Jeremy Borash, Joseph Park were a team versus Josh Matthews and Scott Steiner. Things were just wild. Eddie Edwards and Alicia defeated Davey Richards and Angelina Love in a Full Metal Mayhem match. Sanjay Dutt versus Low-Key, 2 out of 3 falls. Had a lot of good stuff. Sienna versus Rosemary in a unification title match. And so they had another one, and it was Alberto El Patron defeated Bobby Lashley with King Mo in another title unification match. It was a really good pay-per-view. Not that it was so good, but it was like, if you sleep on this, you're missing out. And I think they do a good job telling stories, putting everything together. Is everything a home run? No. But I think everything is solid. I have not seen a match that I'm like, oh, this is terrible. Charmel and what was it, Jenna Maraska or whatever? Horrible. We don't have stuff like that anymore. So I trust the people that are in here. There are still issues with certain things, and I'm sure that'll come up too, but we'll take a look at it. Let's get into the first match I want to talk about, and this is for the Impact Tag Team Championships. We are going to have ourselves a triple threat tag match. We're going to have the North, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander. Been seeing them actually a lot in ESW, Empire State Wrestling, so for my local Buffalo people who listen to this, check them out if you guys see them on the card. We also have Rich Swann and Willie Mack. They will be a tag team. Absolutely love the team of them. Willie Mack from Lucha Underground is standout, and Rich Swann is someone who I've always just appreciated his talent. One of my favorite cruiserweights from that Cruiserweight Classic. And we got the extreme team of Rhino and Rob Van Dam. Remember what I said earlier about washed up wrestlers? This is what I was talking about. Not saying that they're not useful, but a lot of people go and try to say Rhino and Rob Van Dam are washed up. I don't believe that. I still think they have something to offer, and they're part of the draw to come see these shows. So I'm not mad at it. And I think they're in a really good spot here because Rob Van Dam doesn't have to do all of his crazy stuff right away. He's got a partner there to alleviate some of the pressure off of him because Rob Van Dam has a very, very heavy cardio offense. And Van Dam can still do it. It's just, I think he's better when he gets to take his breaks, and Rhino gets to get in there and mix it up with some young guys, the reason why he left WWE. So when you look at this, man, the growth of some of these guys like Ethan Page and Josh Alexander is amazing. I'm so happy to see these guys get pushed. Watching Ethan Page and Evolve and just not being able to get to the spot he wanted to. I don't know how real that was on some of those YouTube docs that I saw about it, but Ethan Page is in a good spot, and I'm happy for him now. They defeated LAX, sent them packing, so that they went out, and they're over in AEW now as PNP. This is a big deal right now, what they're doing. We've got a lot of good things here. I just think Rob Van Dam and Rhino are here to get the old school fans brought in. I think we're going to get some hardcore stuff from them. Willie Mack and Rich Swann are going to come in, kick some ass, take some bumps and all of this. But in my opinion, the winners of this match will be the North. I just feel like they're a strong tag team, and you need to continue building upon them. So I'm going with the North for the victory in this one. Let's talk about match number 2. Don't have a clue who is in this, but this match is called the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. Now, Impact has always done these type of matches, whether it be for contracts, for title shots, climbing a pole and grabbing a mystery box to see what title shots you got, whatever it was. Feast or Fired, it was called. They do these matches where, okay, you're not on the show, you guys can all be in this match. So that's kind of what this looks like it's going to be. They're going to have basically a way of setting up a title shot of the winner's choice in the future, and I'm okay with it because this usually sets up storylines. And like I said, Impact Wrestling has my trust right now with storylines. Who wins this? I'm just going to pick someone random. If it were up to me, I'm going to go with, I kind of want to say Eddie Edwards, but you know what? I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to say Killer Cross. I'm just going to say that they try to make their relationship right with him. Killer Cross is someone who hasn't been treated right with Impact. This is one of the things I don't like. The whole Killer Cross was going to work for AAA. Impact said take him off the card and we'll let you use our wrestler's license for your show in New York City, the one that got moved from the Garden. All that hoopla. Listen, man, if Killer Cross, if you're not going to use him, let the man be free, because I think he's a main event player for Impact Wrestling, and I think that whatever punishment that they're trying to do, it's a waste of time. Let the man be free if you're not going to use him. But Killer Cross is my prediction for the Gauntlet match. Next up, we've got ourselves an X Division ladder match. The current champion, a man who I interviewed on this channel. If you guys haven't listened, make sure you go back in the archives and find my Jake Crist interview from when I was with Brainbuster Radio. So we've got the champion Jake Crist versus Tessa Blanchard. That's right. Tully Blanchard's daughter is in this match. Tessa's been competing against the guys, and she's been scrapping. I would say that Impact Wrestling has the best women's division in wrestling. I know they're called knockouts, but they've got the best division. When Tessa's in here competing for the X Division Championship, we've got big things happening. We've also got Daga in here. Daga from Lucha Underground, a tremendous talent. I really like him. And another guy I like from MLW is Ace Austin, someone who is really good. And I think a lot of people sleep on him. I know some people hate the Gambit thing from X-Men, but I think it's dope. I'm a fan. And then there is someone who is to be announced for this. Now, this match is just going to be something different. I don't know how fans are going to react. I think the Impact fans will be fine, but people who have never seen this before, oh, you got intergender wrestling, blah, blah, blah. And some people may hate on it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But Tessa Blanchard is going to get out here, and she's going to do her thing. I absolutely love her entrance. She's got the best theme music in Impact, too, by the way. Don't at me. So I just really see this going down the way that I expect it to. I think Tessa is going to win the title from Jake Crist. She has a story already with Sami Callihan, and this could play even further into the story. I love Daga. I like Ace Austin. I like all these guys that are in this match, but Tessa Blanchard needs to win this. I think it furthers the storyline, And I could just see Ace Austin getting eliminated by Eddie Edwards in this. Daga has been a kind of backup character to Tessa Blanchard, and Jay Crist's affiliation with OVE. This all sets up for the perfect setup to have Tessa Blanchard win the belt here. Maybe it leads to an option C later on. Who knows? I'm just putting it out there. But Tessa Blanchard has a story to tell, and I think she's the one who gets the win here. In my opinion, this is a layup. This is my, if I had to put a stamp on which one I'm pretty confident about, this is it right here. Now, we're on match number 4 already with this, and we got to talk about 2 of my favorite ladies. This is for the Impact Knockouts Championship. Since Lucha Underground, man, my girl Taya Valkyrie is easily somebody who you can get behind, cheer for, even as a heel. She fits perfectly with John, insert gimmick name, Johnny Morrison, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Impact, whatever you want to call the guy. It's just somebody that you love to hate. Easy. And going back to Lucha Underground, man, I just thought she was great, and she could mix it up with the guys. I've seen some of her matches in Mexico. Taya Valkyrie is a bad one. I was going to say something else, but I'm going to keep it clean today. Taya Valkyrie is a bad one. You don't want to mess with her. She's been holding the title for quite some time, and I would love to actually see her break the record. She's been doing a great job, and it took her a while to get to the championship. So good to see her there. Now, here's the question that you got to wonder. How long is Taya Valkyrie going to be with Impact Wrestling? Rumor is that John Morrison's returning to WWE. That's what it is. Is she going with them? Is she going somewhere else? When does her contract run out? Nobody really knows, so it makes it interesting what they could do here. And now we've also got Tenille Dashwood, to some of you other wrestling fans, known as Emma. She is someone who I feel like I was shocked to see that she signed there. She was with the Women of Honor in Ring of Honor, and then all of a sudden she was like, yo, I'm out. And she went to Impact instead. Different, but maybe it's a little bit closer to home for her. Maybe she likes Impact Wrestling. Maybe she has past relationships and friendships based there. I don't know. But they do have the best women's division, and I think that Tenille Dashwood is going to stand out here. This is so tough right here to predict because this is basically some contractual stuff and who gets the best of it. I'm going to go with Tenille Dashwood picks up the win here. You brought her in for a reason. I think that they're going to rock out with her. She seems like the logical choice, so I'm going to go with Tenille Dashwood for the victory in this one. Next up, we got the Rascalz, Dezmond Xavier, Trey Miguel, and Zachary Wentz versus the team of Dr. Wagner Jr., back from retirement, Aerostar, and Taurus. This match doesn't have any build. I think this is just because of the partnership with AAA, and I respect it. I brought it up earlier with you guys. They helped AAA out when they had to do their New York City show. Impact and them have a really good relationship, and Impact needs to continue building those relationships, whether it be with NWA, New Japan, whoever you can get in with right now, especially if you're these smaller promotions, you got to do it. Who wins this match? I feel like at this point, why not put over the AAA guys just because? You're going to have a lot of different talent on here. So I'm going to go with Dr. Wagner, Aerostar, and Taurus for the win, just to keep that strong relationship going with AAA. So that's what I'm going with for the victory here. All right, match number 6. Michael Elgin. That's right. The guy from Ring of Honor. He's still going at it. And he's going to be taking on Marufuji. Now, this match was announced a little bit ago. And this is kind of a tough match now. So some people here know Brian Cage suffered some back problems a little while ago, and they had to bring in Michael Elgin to serve as the power guy for the company during that time period. So Cage is back, and we'll get into him because he's in the main event. But Elgin's in here now. He got brought in for this spot a little bit, and here he is. He's facing Marufuji. This guy is a legend from Pro Wrestling Noah. So what are they going to do here? In my opinion, I feel like you got to give the win to Michael Elgin. He came into your company, kind of helped you out in times of things could go really bad. He went in there against Cage, made him have a really good match. I shouldn't say made him. It takes two to tango. But he went in there and he delivered on his performance because I haven't seen him wrestle since New Japan. And he still has it. I'm fine with this. Like I said, give me Michael Elgin for the victory here. It's not going to hurt Noah if Marufuji takes the L. I'm not mad at it. And like I said, this is going to be happening in Chicago. We're good. Michael Elgin is going to end up getting the dub, in my opinion, here. So I'm going to go with him for my prediction. Here is one that I have been waiting to see. And I don't know why I'm waiting to see it. I think it's just been so long and the nostalgia kicked in. We've got probably our second biggest match of the night. It's going to be Ken Shamrock versus Moose. Ken Shamrock from the UFC, like the OG UFC, versus Moose. They've been doing this cross promotion with these two. If many don't know, Ken Shamrock is the very first TNA champion, technically. He won the NWA championship way back when in 2002. Ken Shamrock is always someone who I feel like is trying to compete, trying to do his thing. But Ken Shamrock's 55 years old now, but he's in tremendous shape still. The man was a bodyguard for 50 Cent recently. So let Ken Shamrock go in there, and if he can go, I just want to see what he can do, man. It's just, I don't know, man. Ken Shamrock's just a madman when he gets in that ring, and hopefully he gets to snap and he puts that ankle lock on because no one does it better than Ken Shamrock, in my opinion. Give me Ken Shamrock for the win, man. I love Moose, but you got to go with Shamrock here. I feel like Moose is always in that position where he can't get the win. I think after this, you got to really focus on building up Moose. He was someone who I thought could really be a future world heavyweight champion. So we'll see what they do. But give me that for the victory here. And maybe we see Ken Shamrock come back. I don't know if this is like his last match for Impact or what he's trying to do here, but I like Ken Shamrock. So hopefully we see him get the dub. And we are at the final match of this preview. It is the main event of the evening. It is going to be for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. We've got Brian Cage versus Sami Callihan. Brian Cage defeated Johnny Impact for the Impact Championship, and I really like it. Cage is somebody who has the look. And if you guys didn't know, Brian Cage in FCW was a cruiserweight. This dude is jacked to the gills now. Cage is all muscle. He can still move like a cruiserweight. This dude is unreal. If you've never seen him in Lucha Underground, with the Gauntlet especially, if you guys have never seen any of this stuff, freaking tremendous stuff. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen in this match because I think you have two incredibly talented people for different reasons. So Cage ended up hurting his back like we talked about before in that match with Johnny Impact. Cage eventually did a lot of hard work to come back, and now he's back. But you've got to throw in Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan had a match with Pentagon Zero or Pentagon Dark, whatever his name was in Impact. That was amazing for his hair. Sami Callihan is one of the most despicable people. His run really started once he hurt Eddie Edwards and he hit him in the face with that baseball bat, and he basically sunk in his eye socket. Sami Callihan is a badass dude. Very cool, too, when he talked to Queen. When she was doing an interview for Brainbuster Radio, Queen got to ask him some questions. I thought Queen did a great job with that. And I love the way that Sami carried himself. I thought he did a good job with it. And because of that, I started to take a lot of notice in him. I'm like, this guy can really do it. This guy could be something that's better than we all thought. I thought he was going to get to this level a little bit faster than he did, but here's what I'm saying. Impact Wrestling tells stories. There is a slow burn to all of this. Sami Callihan's one of the most despicable heels on the microphone when it comes to that. His in-ring style is not flashy. He gets the job done. He's a heel in the ring. He will do some of the most disgusting, vile things to a wrestler, but he is championship material in my opinion. And at this point, I've been saying it before this even happened with Cage. Sami Callihan is my prediction to become the new Impact World Heavyweight Champion at this point. I think you could tell a great story with Tessa. You could do a lot of different things here with them. You could put him as the top heel of the company for quite some time. He's already got OVE backing him with the Crist brothers and Fulton. And like I said, let Tessa go on a run. Tessa can go do her thing with the X Division title. It's about no limits, right? Sami Callihan over here with the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. Option C comes into play later, and these two have to have another rematch. They had a match at the last pay-per-view. They closed out the show, and I thought it was a tremendous match. Really, really good stuff. If you are into that, if you're going to believe the in-ring work, I thought these two did a good job selling it. I won't spoil it for you if you guys go back, but check it out. I thought it was some really cool stuff. Sami Callihan is who I predict to win. Some quick final thoughts, I guess, on all of this. Is this show card supposed to knock your socks off, make you want to buy whatever station they're on, or buy every piece of merch that Impact Wrestling has to sell? No. But Impact Wrestling is doing a good enough job, I think, to stay afloat. They are running small venues. They are getting fans in there. They are getting passionate fans in there. And I still think that there's a tremendous audience for Impact Wrestling. I just think that people really have to take the time to watch it. And I'm telling you guys that I think it's worth it for you guys to check out this pay-per-view. Hopefully you guys listen to me and you believe me, because on October 29th, they're going to be on Access TV. And I think they can produce a fun show every Tuesday. They're going up against NWA Power and AEW Dark on YouTube, which is free. But they're still going to be on Twitch, I heard. So it's tough, man. What do you do if you're Impact Wrestling at this point? They need to start figuring out what their next move is going to be, like I said, as far as working with somebody, trying to figure out what they're going to do, what relationships they want to build, even if that means working with people you don't want to. Working with another company who has big name stars that you could bring in, because you want to build your name back up. And you don't want to fall into that dead brand category, because honestly, I feel like Impact has more buzz around its name than Ring of Honor right now. And that seems so odd, but I think Impact knows their size, and I feel like Ring of Honor is like starting to hit that ego deflator on their size. This is going to be a good show, though. Like I said, check it out if you guys want. I have the contest. Link for Twitter is in the description of the video. If you guys want to enter it, just follow all the directions on my Twitter, and you guys will be entered in to win a code from FITE TV. Like I said, I've got a couple of them. I'll be giving them out via DMs, so make sure you guys are locked into your DMs when I announce a winner. With that being said, folks, you guys will continue hearing from me. Next week, we'll be talking about some different stuff on the podcast. I will be back tomorrow, if you guys listen to this tonight, for my AEW review on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Type in Everything Pro Wrestling. We are over 600 subs now. We have doubled in the past year, so thank you guys so much for that. Make sure you are sub for that. Friday nights, we talk WWE, Raw, NXT, SmackDown, whatever you guys want to talk about. We will do that. Like I said, I'm grateful for the growth and everything else that's been happening with us lately, but let's keep it moving. And shout out to everybody in the wrestling community who retweets me, helps me out. Once again, thankful for you guys. Thank you for listening to the podcast. You guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I'm out. Peace.
FITE.